It is now 7 a.m. We actually got 7:05 now. Obviously, this is our leadership call. What does our leadership call do? It strengthens us, right? This is an opportunity for you to get a chance to hear from the leadership here for you to be able to grow. Obviously, right? Usually we like to make sure that our cameras is on. We like to make sure that you guys are alive and alert. If you don't have pen and paper, you definitely will need one, I promise you. Obviously, you don't have to have a blue one like me, but you need one. You need paper, right? Because now is the time where we get it. So let me finish getting people in here. Joseph, great morning, great morning. All right, so with that, first and foremost, guys, I like to make sure I want to give some shout outs and give some welcomes, man. We got some new people, right? Obviously that just joined the company, and I'm super excited about. I don't see Abriana on this call though, but Abriana Jacobs just joined the company. Let's give it up for her, guys. She'll watch this back on the playback. Great job and welcome, Abriana. You should be on this call, by the way, when you listen to this on the playback. Maria Atchison, right? You should be on this call as well if she is not. I just want to make sure, no, that's Maria. No, I don't want to get them confused, right? Obviously, Maria is not on this call neither. So obviously, Talia, Reginald, you guys reach out and make sure that you get your new guys on this call. Obviously, this week as well, we got one person with a new, we got one person this week that's celebrating a birthday, and that is Aisha Sess. I just want to make sure that we give her a shout out. I don't want to forget you at all, Aisha, right? So hopefully wherever you are, you see this and you know that we wished you a happy birthday on our leadership call. Now, with that being said, guys, let's make sure that we move right along because I wanted to make sure I was thinking about what we could do to go over this week so that we strengthen you guys up. Let me get you back in here, Tiffany. And I wanted to talk about a little bit how you guys are actually engaging your client, right? This is very important to me, right? And I just want to make sure that we guys are good participation on this, obviously, right? So I'm going to be calling on a lot of you guys, right? We're going to be interactive. So if you don't have your cameras on, if you can come off mute, obviously we're going to get into this thing together. All right, so the first thing is that who actually can give me a sales pitch right now on this call? Who is brave enough to give me a sales pitch on this call? Anybody?
Let's go.
Let's get it. So obviously, right, there's two ways that we pitch, right? There's one at the door, and then there's obviously at proximity events. You know, you're going to pitch as a proximity events or like at Walmart's like you do normally, right? I just want to set the stage for you. Let's get it.
Good morning, sir. Who do you have for your home internet?
Right now we got, I think, Xfinity.
Xfinity? So you're paying about $10 a month for Xfinity, sir. Is that sounds right?
I'm not even sure, man. I got to ask my girl what she's paying.
Oh, you got to ask your girl what she paying? Well, over here, we have Verizon Internet, and it's free if you have any of these benefits on this sign. You know, if you want to take my information back to her, if you're not sure, you know, she could call me and we can go over this free internet. But I promise you, this is better than Xfinity, my man. Right here, it's 300 over 300. You probably got like 100 over 200. If you're not sure, there's actually an Xfinity person in the back, and they got a sign up there that says exactly what they got. So I can actually show you that we are a little better than them. But you know, we won't go near them, but I can show you right there in the back. They sell it 100, we're selling 300, and it's free, and it's guaranteed price lock.
All right, I'm definitely gonna let her know. You got some information?
Yes, sir, definitely. Here's my information. Here's my rep card.
Great. All right, thank you. All right, guys, give it up for Tiger. Now, first and foremost, right, obviously there were some key things in there that we'll highlight. We'll do something called pros and cons, right? Now, if you got pen and paper like I do, obviously, right, there's pros and there's cons. Write down the pros and then write down the cons. Stelly, let me get you in here. Because now what we want to do is we want to take inventory of some of the things that he did right, and then we want to take inventory of some of the things that we feel like he can do better, right? First and foremost, right, I want you guys to understand something. We're virtual. So there's a few things here that we're going to go over that we can't account for right now. But I do want to make sure I go over with you guys, right? Things like making sure that you have a smile. How important is a smile? Vital, important. Why? Because that's going to break down their walls. That's going to break down their barriers. So don't forget your smile, even as we start to role play on this thing, right? And then, of course, the next thing is eye contact. If you guys notice, right, I'm almost can't wait to see you guys, right? You can see my eyes. You can see the whites in my eyes right now. Why? Because that's important. Whenever you're speaking to somebody, eye contact is vital and it is important. I promise you, if you have good eye contact and you are smiling, it is very hard for people not to give you their undivided attention. They have to understand what is going on here. This guy's speaking to me and he looks like he got something, of value, right, to offer me. Now, if you got your smile and you got your eye contact down, good. Now it's time to know, what are you going to say? Okay. Now, first and foremost, the introduction, right? How was Wallace's introduction? Anybody can chime in here, guys.
I think it could have been better. I think he was nervous.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you remember what the introduction was?
Hey, what kind of internet you got?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, good. I want you guys to tell me, right? When he says that, and obviously as you're walking past the table, he only got a few quick seconds to be able to grab attention. Okay. A lot of times it's much different from at the door. Now, we know at the door, we need to explain who we are, what are we doing at that door, and we need to provoke a conversation fast. But obviously, when they're walking past you, it's more visual than anything else, right? And when that happens, we have to be able to get their attention. So, what would you say in that same setting, right?
Hey, boss, how are you today? I like your shoes. I'm gonna grab their attention first with something other than what I'm here for. Something. If I'm at the door, I'm gonna compliment the grass or peek my head around the corner, look at the carpet or something. Ooh, I got that same carpet at Home Depot. Okay, that's why I'm here. Small conversation first.
Absolutely, and very good. I like that. That's what's called the icebreaker, guys, right? Obviously, you can definitely break the ice, and you can break the ice with something visual, or you could do it with something that you have in your hand, obviously, right? If you're handing them something. But let's get back to the sales pitch that Wallace just did. I want to make sure here, right? The introduction, obviously, anytime you get a chance to introduce yourself, you want to do it with eye contact, a smile, and then what you say matters. By the way, how you say it, but we'll get into that. Adriana is joining the call now. Good job, guys. Let's make sure that we join this call 5 minutes after we get it. We like to get started. So with that being said, right, obviously, right, the introduction is, hey, how you doing? My name's Quincy Verizon. What do you guys have now for internet right now at this point? Right? We want to keep it simple, but you also want to make sure that you introduce yourself. Now, if you choose to do an icebreaker, which I definitely suggest, make it a good one, right? You might be able to relate to them any type of way, right? Now, how do we relate? How do we relate to a customer? How do we relate to a customer? Let me ask you guys.
I usually go off of what they got on. If they got a professional, like a team like Dallas Redskins, I usually like, oh, you like the Cowgirls, huh? Is that your team? And they'd be like, what? And then all of a sudden that conversation sparks more than that. Then I turn it into asking them about the internet, because one thing about the Dallas Cowboys, they'll stay for an argument. Like, I don't care who you are, they'll try to argue about their team. Like they won every year, but if they got a Dallas Cowboy shirt on, they'll stay about 30 good minutes and they don't care what you're selling. They just want to talk about that.
I love it. Sports is emotional, by the way. So you can always engage your client with sports. If you see they have a jersey on, people are very serious about their ball teams, right? So great job there. How else? How else can we relate to a client? Let's load them up this morning. What about if they got kids?
That's what I was about to say.
Right? Having kids is also emotional, right? It ties them right down right away. Hey, you know what? He making me miss my son. How old is he? I got a daughter his age, right? Oh, my son has the same outfit. You know what? Don't worry about it. My son is active as well. What school does he go to? You understand what I'm saying? There's no way that you can miss your client, right? If you're engaging them this way, if you're relating to them this way, if they got kids. What else, guys?
I know when I'm in Walmart, sometimes they walk in the store and, they be on the phone and I might tell them, oh, what you on the phone with, is Xfinity getting turned off? So, we start like that or whatever. But, I basically do it off how I vibe off them. And that's my conversation.
Yes, I love it. A bit of comedy as well, right? She literally engaged the customer and said the customer's getting their phone turned off, right? They have no choice but to almost laugh at that, right? Because that's pretty bold on her end, right? So now they got to engage her and say, who is this, right? They got the nerve. Okay, good. Not for everybody, but I'm gonna tell you something. If you got that, definitely an attractive trait that you can deploy at any moment with your clients. I've seen the funniest people go on to do amazing things. Great job there. What else?
When I was in the Walmart again, I set up snacks. And they was, they would come over and be like, can I have some or whatever? And I was like, if you plan on signing up, but I give it to them anyway, even if they didn't. But yeah, like, I had like a bowl of candy and waters. You remember? I had the candies, the waters and stuff like that. So I people like free stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely
So,
you can definitely attract the kids. You can definitely attract anybody that is that is just inquisitive, right? And then them being able to give somebody something lets them know that, hey, listen, I'm not all about taking. I love that. Thank you. All right. But what else, right? Can you visibly
Hey, how you doing?
say?
I'm
I
doing
relate.
me.
Anthony Sharp, you are off mute.
I relate to them on an internet tip too,
Okay.
especially if they have Xfinity. I'm like, oh, I used to have Xfinity. I made the switch to Verizon. And sometimes I make it seem like I just switched to Verizon. Like, oh, Xfinity, you can't even get those guys on the phone. I can't even call customer service with Xfinity.
Right, right. You can you can definitely relate based off the service as well. You can absolutely relate based on the quality of the service as well. So good job there. I like it. Right. A lot of times having an attitude of indifference or maybe even just getting on the same page with them is how you relate. I can get on the same page with someone just by simply saying, hey, you know what? I got those same Jordans. Right. And that's me relating. Right. Not for nothing, but I love those glasses. I'm a glasses type of guy too, myself. Right. That type of deal. Whatever it is, you can relate to them. If you talk about them, right? Literally, people love to hear about themselves, guys. If you haven't noticed it already, whenever somebody is flattering me, I think to myself, oh, you're trying to sell me. That's the first thing that my mind goes to. Like, if you study sales, then you're going to flatter me right away. And then obviously what I do, I like to give it back right away. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I love your dreads. Oh, great. I love yours as well. If you got dreads, right? You can have just waves in your head. Well, I like the waves better, right? Whatever it is, I'm giving you right back that compliment. And I watch them smile each and every time, like almost giddy, like, oh, you like this? You like, yes, absolutely. They look amazing, right? So you can definitely compliment them by relating to them. What about how people dress? What about how people dress? Do you feel like you can relate to people based on how they dress?
Yeah.
Right away. Right away. What do you say to somebody with a police uniform on?
Hey,
Why would I say?
Oh,
I say that I appreciate the job and I thank them.
You thank them for their service.
Yeah.
I love that right away. Who's not going to respond to someone thanking them for their service if they served in the military or they're on the job, active duty right now? Because I think of a police officer as active duty, right? So I love that, right? What do you think about somebody that has a crossing guard uniform on? What are you going to say to them?
What do they have on?
They have a crossing guard uniform. Right, when the kids get out of school or right now they're inside of summer school, they're the ones that's standing in the middle of the street between your kids and the cars.
If they have a form, I'm gonna be witty, be like, look, I see that you like to direct people across the street. Maybe I could direct you towards this internet right here. Maybe get you better internet since you like to direct things in life. I'm gonna direct you in a better direction.
Absolutely. See, when you have charisma, that's sometimes all you need, right? Because that's all charisma. But that's him relating to his customer. He knows that his customer is going to respond to that because that's what she do on a daily basis, right? So he is speaking her language now, his or her language. Great job, right? Obviously, I want you guys to start to think about different ways that you can relate. And hopefully you got a few different ways that you can relate. You can relate by their dress. You can relate by their kids. You can relate by just having some comedy on your side, right? Maybe having an attitude of indifference. You can relate by just the internet and the services. How are they treating you? I had them before. I used to love them. Let me ask you, what about you, right? And obviously you can't forget as well that if they actually, depending on right what the conversation is like, where the conversation is going, you can see when people are excited about what it is that they do. You might just learn right through a conversation that they're heavy into stocks. You might just learn through a conversation that they're heavy into podcasts. They started their own podcast. What do you need for a podcast? Don't you need the internet?
Mhm.
Absolutely. So what do you say
Yep.
to somebody once they find out and they tell you, hey, and not for nothing, but yeah, I just started my podcast, so I'm really trying to get that off the ground. So, you might have asked them if they wanted a job or not, right? You was excited. You tried to get you some recruiters credit. Hey man, listen, anybody looking for a job right now? Nah, it's all good. Not right now. I just started my podcast, right? But this is a client. What are you going to say for this client?
Need some internet?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I need some internet. Is that all you're going to say?
I can offer you some Verizon internet.
Okay. Absolutely. Now let's deep dive a little bit, right? Because I can tell from the silence on this call and all of you guys, right? Some of you guys are FiOS experts, been with us for a long time. You can't afford to get stumped. When you stop talking, it's over.
Okay. I wanted to give other people a chance before I start talking, but I keep talking. So
Let's get it. What would you say?
now run it by me one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you asked me if I was looking for a job, right? Obviously, right? Because we've been talking now at this point. But you see, I got a suit. See, I'm maybe, someone that you might think of that needs the job, right? So obviously at this point, I turned down the job and I said no, but I do mention I just started my podcast. I look at your face, you understand?
Did she freeze? I think she might have froze.
Yeah, I think she did too as well. Reggie, were you going to say something?
I will ask you what speed you have for Wi-Fi and how much you pay.
Okay, you get right down to it. You'll try to give me the details, right? Good. Okay, good to go. What else?
Well, can I ask you, Quincy, what your podcast is about?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I just started a podcast based around sales.
Oh, okay, about sales. Oh, that's kind of actually the idea of what we're doing here, except for we're offering you something pretty much for free or at a discount, depending on what speed you would need for that podcast.
Absolutely. Okay, good to go. I need for you guys to be more prepared, right? Obviously, if a person says that they got a podcast now at this point, you want to make sure, okay, great. You know what? Let me ask you, what's your podcast about? Right? I want to break the ice a little bit, right? Because I want to keep my client talking. Obviously, yeah, I got to sell myself or sometimes, right? So at this point here, it's like, hey, what's the podcast about? Oh, sales? Oh man, you could probably teach me a thing or two, huh? Right? Well, listen, let me tune in. What's the podcast? Okay, great. All right, man. Listen. So you set everything up yourself? Yeah, I set everything up myself. Okay. Well, with that being said, let me ask you, who do you have for internet? Because I know you got to have the fastest internet to make sure that you're on the, that your podcast is up and running correctly. Let me ask you, what do you have now? Oh, well, we got, okay. All right. So with that being said, what's the speed that you have? Oh, well, I just got, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I got a friend that actually does a podcast. He has the fastest speed of internet with us and he is ecstatic, right? He doesn't have a lot of the issues that other people have with the lesser speeds of internet. You know, let me ask you, have you ever had us for service? All I did was just ask more questions, right? In asking more questions, you're going to find out more. You're going to find out more if they like you. A lot of the times you're selling them on why they need the fastest service, but you haven't understood the problem yet. Does this make sense, guys? Where is she? Here. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want you to understand something. Sales is all about solving a problem. You're not selling if you didn't solve a problem. You're just talking to a client, right? You might have got them something free, but you have to solve a problem. A lot of the times when I get a chance to look over the cancels and things of that nature, and I'm calling back the clients, and I asked them, I was like, okay, great. Why were you actually interested in service with us? Well, I just got it because it was free. You ever had a customer tell you that?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So when that happens, we never uncovered the problem. We never solved the problem for our client. They just got it because they thought it was free. Where personally, what you want to do is you want to ask more questions. You want to say, okay, great. Let me ask you, what brings you by? What makes you interested in the internet today? Oh, well, I need it for the kids. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got kids as well. How old is yours? So that this way, at any point during my presentation, I can actually rehash the problem. Do you guys see what I just did here? Now, because I know that they need internet for their kids, if anything starts to happen or my sales starts to waver, I can always rehash. Okay, great. I totally understand. I know you got to go, but I also know that you need this for the kids as well. So here's what I'll do, right? I'll try to make sure right now that I get your address. So start with your zip code. All right. Did you see how I was able to tie them down again with the actual problem that I'm solving? Opposed to just asking them, hey, listen, all right, cool, just give me 5 more minutes. We have to figure out how to solve the problem, right? How do we actually find out what their problem is? Anybody?
By asking.
Asking more questions.
Gotta ask more questions, guys. Gotta ask more questions. So obviously, if your client is speaking specifically to you and they're giving you clues on how to sell them, because that's what this is clues. I just need to know that you guys are going to be able to catch it like a hand in glove. A hand in glove. And that's an easy one. Why? Because they got a podcast. How important is internet to them? It's vital.
Very important.
They don't need a $10 internet. And by the way, depending on the client that you're dealing with, right? And you know this from if you guys are knocking at doors or if you see somebody, you know when someone has a great presentation. You know when someone values themselves and they value their time, right? It's the difference between someone driving almost a Honda and driving a BMW. It's a little different, right? It's definitely different. If you see them, you know, like, hold up, not for nothing, man, but you keep your car very clean. I can tell that you would like the fastest speed of internet. You can almost see it, right? If you come up in the driveway and you see a Benz beside the driveway or you see a Honda, doesn't matter, right? When you knock on that door, you can almost tell that this person, right, he values his time more than anything else. You can tell that this person obviously would like the fastest speed of internet. You want to use that top-down selling technique on them right away. Hey, by the way, listen, we got the fastest speed of internet. What do you guys have right now? Oh, okay, good. Well, how they treating you? Good, good. Well, did you know that Fios is available? A lot of times people prefer our speeds. What about you? What do you do? Right? You can kind of play off that ego a little bit, and this always helps. So this is important. So let me ask you guys right now, right? Coming off the introduction of your sales pitch, obviously, right? And obviously, what is a good introduction? What is a good introduction? Let's get back on task here because I want to get to this full presentation. Can anybody tell me? Did anybody write it down? It was 3 things.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself.
Smile and eye contact.
Smile.
Right. So, guys, write this down. Grab your pen and paper. Smile and eye contact are two things that you do before you even deliver your sales pitch. Right. As soon as you can't get eye contact on somebody, you lock eyes on them, no matter where they are. Right. Because that's a form of communication. Then, of course, the smile breaks them down. Right. That's also a form of communication. But the actual speech and what you're saying, the sales pitch, that's your introduction. Okay. Now, your introduction consists of three things. It consists of who you are, what are you doing, and provoking that conversation. So, for example, how you doing? I'm Quincy with Verizon, Fios, cable, and internet. What do you guys have now for service? Real quick, 3 sentences. Smile, eye contact. How you doing? I'm Quincy with Verizon, Fios, cable, and internet. What do you guys have now for service? Simple, quick. You want to be quick. You don't want to say, you don't want to have any breaks in your beat. More importantly, I'm not even stopping to listen to you guys say hello back to me. Right? So I'll give you an example just because I can see you right now, Avis. Right? Avis. So I'm knocking at the door or I'm at an event. It doesn't matter, right? Let me just say I knock at the door.
Who is it?
How you doing, ma'am? It's Quincy with Verizon, Fios, cable, and internet.
Okay, how can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. We just stopped by because we can see that you actually had us for service. What do you guys have now?
I don't have anything now. I'm just gonna wait.
Is that right? Let me ask you, right? Is there any particular reason why?
I did have Verizon, like you said, but it was kind of like, I don't know. I guess I was messing up. I don't know what was going on with it.
Wow. Well, we must have did something to make you not like us now at this point. Let me ask you, when you had us before, was it price or was it quality?
I think it was the price. It was a little too high. They said it was going to be free, and then it ended up being like $100 and some every month.
$100 and some dollars.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot right now. Let me ask you though, right? What did you have when you had us previously?
I had the ACP. That's what they told me I had, but I don't know. They said it was free if I apply my code. I applied my code, but I still kept getting the bill.
Oh, that's why you don't like us.
Yeah,
Right? You had a bad experience totally with their ACP.
I did.
Yeah, not for nothing, but I specialize in just this very subject. I run into a lot of customers that oftentimes had problems with their ACP. So don't worry, you're in good hands though. Let me ask you, when you had us before, did you only have internet?
That's all I had. I wanted the phone, but I just got the internet.
Okay. Well, depending on where you want your price to land, right? We could possibly get you a phone. Do you still need the home phone?
I do.
Okay, good to go. So with that being said, let me ask you, is it just you inside the home or do you have kids? Are you running a business? Are you going to school? What you got going?
It's just me. My grandson come over now and then. He likes, he plays the games a lot, so he want I guess, a good quality internet.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs it. He goes to school, right?
Yeah, he
What
does.
grade is-
He's in 10th.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, matter of fact, I don't even think he carries a book bag nowadays, right?
He do not.
Yeah. So with that being said, you absolutely do need the internet for when your grandson is over. Now, let's talk about you a little bit. Are you just Netflix and chilling, or you got something working on? You working on your business, or what you working on?
I'm actually into sales myself.
Wow. Let me ask you. I mean, you looking for a job right now?
I am, but I'm trying to start my own thing first. See how that turns out.
I understand. Truly, I understand. So let me take a look here because it looks like right now all you need is maybe our 300 over 300 internet speed. That's our introductory speed of internet. And guess what? The good news is that as long as you still qualify for ACP, obviously you can actually get that for free, right? Don't tell anybody I said that, but it's free, right?
Okay.
So now let me ask you, right? When you had us before, did you leave us with any previous balances?
I think I did.
Okay. So if I was able to get that balance waived for you, would you think about coming back to us?
Yeah, if you can get away, yeah, sure I will.
Okay. Well, listen, hold on for me 1 second. I'm going to need some information. What's your zip code?
It's 23228.
All right, good to go. All right. So obviously, guys, I want to stop right there, right? But I want us to dissect that sales pitch, right now, right? How was the introduction?
It was good.
Quick and to the point.
Now, now further on down, right? How was the price and probing section?
It was straight to the point. It was good.
Did I
found it through her kids and her grandson.
I found a way to relate, right? And by the way, I could have got way more emotional, right? I could have tied it down a little bit stronger if I wanted to. I just didn't need to. She gave me all the right. When she gave me the right answers, I'm just collecting information now at this point. You know how hard it is for Avis to walk away from me now? Like, it's hard. She done almost promised me my money. You guys see that? She said, sure, yeah, if you can get it waived, yeah, I'm coming. She promised me my money. So I don't care who's around, I don't care what's going on. It's a done deal. Who did most of the talking?
She did.
You,
Who said me?
me,
You feel like I did more talking?
hmm
I feel like she did more talking.
I feel like you asked the questions and she answered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys, if you're doing most of the talking, you're not selling.
I don't know about that.
I got you. Don't get me wrong. Charisma goes a long way, right? Charisma goes a long way, and you may think, right? But it doesn't take much to uncover the problem. It's in the questions, it's in the details. You know,
Some things.
do not get me wrong. If you're giving away a free internet, it doesn't take all that. But tell me what you're saying.
Sometimes like a customer will hold back stuff like they overrise it because they be quick to say, I don't want it. No, I'm good, because they overrising because they don't know that we are capable of waiving their bill. So sometimes, a lot of times when I ask them and they decline the offer, I ask them, you owe an old bill? And they'll tell me, yeah. And then I do what you said, do. I be like, look, I can show you right now that I can waive this bill and waive your deposit. And I might get you a free month, even if I know where I'm at, that they're doing free months, So I already know what I'm walking into when I'm walking into it. So it just be, I mean, it's just the people, I told you I have them all. I have ones that be smart, be nasty, but by the time I finish with them, we friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want you guys to take notice, right? That there are plenty of ways to do your sales, but it does not require, because having an attitude of indifference, I want you guys to understand something. The person least interested always wins. Anybody understand that, or need me to break that down?
No.
Person least interested wins. Right? So it's about having an attitude of indifference sometimes. So what Crystal just said is exactly what I did, except for I'm doing it more to my advantage so that I always got a card to play. So when I say to my client, hey, listen, by the way, did you owe us a previous balance? Now, by the way, when I say this, I'm not saying this loud like, oh, you owe us money. No, I don't have to engage that way. I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm lean in. Hey, by the way, when you left us previously, did you owe us a balance? So this would assimilate that I'm their friend. I'm softening up my vocal tones, right? My tonality is a little bit different. Tonality is a way of selling as well. So by the time I switch up my vocal tones, it's like, hey, yeah, absolutely. I think I did leave y'all with a balance. It's probably about $600. Now they almost proud of what they, hey, listen, probably about $600. Okay, well, let me ask you, if I'm actually able to waive this balance for you, right? Am I able to set you up with an installation date today? You wait, yeah. Hold on a second. Let me see what I can do. I'm still not promising nothing. Why? Because I want this customer tied in. I want this customer almost invested right to the very end of my sale. Then I want them to say thank you. Like, man, you did me a solid. Yeah, listen, by the way, you know what I need? I need some more clients. I need some more customers. Give me at least 3, right? So what happens is that the client is always looking at like what's in it for them. They don't care about what's in it for you. Sometimes when you're selling, the client is looking at you like, man, you obviously are more invested in this than I am. Why would I do something for you? And now you got to argue because they can see that, hey, man, listen, I want, you want this more than I do. Yeah, of course. But obviously having an attitude of indifference, you can kind of control the pace and the tempo. Is this making sense?
Mhm.
So it's just different styles. Just different styles. But
It all to that one, he who talks last loses the sale. Talks first loses the sale. Like after you give your pitch and whoever starts speaking first loses the sale.
Yep. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. A lot of the times we just got to make sure that we understand all the different ways that we can get the job done, because our customers are very unique. They're very different. They're not all the same, and thank God for that, right? But we just need some more techniques, right? So obviously the price and probe section. How was my close?
He was ready. You had a in the palm of your hands. She was ready to go.
Thank you. Thank you. But what did I specifically say?
You were saying about when you got her to talk about the waiving the bill, she was like, let's go. And then you was like, you went to do the whole bill situation. But she was ready right after that. When you was like, you can get it waived for her. You asked her if you can get the bill waived, would you find it? She was like, yeah, if you could get it waived. And then right after that, it was a go.
Very good. But
You
specifically, guys,
asked her zip code.
Yeah.
absolutely. I want you guys to take notice of the close, because I'm going to ask you guys, how do you close in just a second? Now, the way that I close my customer is I use the previous balance close, right? Where literally I leaned in, hey, let me ask you, when you left us before, did you leave us with any previous balances? Now, I'm not sure if you guys understood that, but that's when I closed my sale, not when I asked for the zip code. I closed my sale when I actively asked her to think about making the switch. And that's when I asked her, hey, let me ask you, did you leave us with a previous balance when you had us before? Yeah, I did. So now what this does is this is a fear of loss that now I'm deploying now. Because now I done built it up like, man, you can get the service, you can get it actually for free, don't tell anybody. But now there's a chance you won't be able to get it because you left us with a previous balance. You know what that feels like? Like, what? What? There's a chance I won't be able to get it? But you know what? Let me ask you, if I'm actually able to waive this balance for you and get you service, or you will, yeah. I thought Avis was going to say, hell yeah. It's just in how I lined it up. Now, again, it's just different ways of doing things, guys. But you understand the technique. You can say that with energy, without energy, but obviously, me personally, been in this business a long time. Tonality works. Good eye contact works. A smile works. Right? Letting them talk works. Let me ask you guys, right? What is your close? How are you?
I ask them the address to see if a residence available. I'm like, okay, after I did my presentation, I asked them, I have to check to see if a residence available. So what's the zip code?
That's a big one. Guys, if you don't have that one written down, your wood is wet. You're never gonna start a fire with wet wood.
That's actually my close as well.
Powerful. Okay, great. Do you know if you're available right now? No, I actually don't. Okay, great. What's your zip code? Get right to it. When they see you actually operating and doing your job, sometimes it happens so fast that they actually ask you, well, what are you doing right now? I mean, after they give you their zip code and after they give you your address, and then they be like, well, what are we doing right now? That's because it happened so fast for them. You were so quick with your clothes that is happening, and now they wake up and realize, hold up, I'm being signed up. Yes, you are. I'm checking your address. How many times did that happen to you guys when they wake up out of their slumber, like, hold up, what are we doing?
A lot of time.
And then at that point, what do you say?
I said, I'm about to sign you up.
I hope you don't say it that happy, Della. I'm telling you, you just scared the hell out of your customer. Like, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. You ain't signing me up nowhere. Again, it goes back to what's in it for me. Your client's always thinking what's in it for me. If you're thinking about what's in it for you and they can see that, expect them to walk away. Expect them to do you. They might do you the favor, but you better make sure that this sale get installed. Because they didn't have a purpose or reason. They just did it with you. Now, obviously, if they got it because their kids need it, man, how important is that? Because they're starting a podcast, how important is that?
Very.
People got health issues out here. They have to go online to be able to order their prescriptions. How important is that? You guys got to find the reason and lock them down. All right. What else? What's another close?
I usually ask them, what time works best for you for install?
That's a good one too. If you don't have that one written down, your wood is wet. What's better, weekend or weekday? I give them options, but either way it go, both options are in my favor. You guys see that? What works better for you, weekend or weekday? Oh, weekend. You think I care? I don't care if it's a weekend or weekday. I just care that I'm getting you installed, right? So it's important, right? That's a great one. What else? Anybody got anything that's outside of the box, something that you've been using and you ain't even told nobody because it's been working so good for you? You don't even want nobody to have your secret sauce. You got the Big Mac. Hit me.
I mean, my clothes be different probably every time because my clothes depending on the person and who I'm talking to. So I don't know. I mean, everybody different.
Man, I've seen you have some fantastic closes. Let me bring you back. I've seen Crystal start with her clothes. You guys know what I mean? Literally walk up to somebody and start with a close. Like, I know you over, Riza. Like, just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But just start with the close. But you know what it does, right? And I think it's because her personality fits, right? They always respond, be like, yeah, you know it, don't you? Yeah. I think I owe y'all a bill. Yep. That's what I was just about to say. We can get that wave for you, right? Literally, I done seen her do it. She literally just starts with a close. Anyway, see, let me try to help and break this down, guys. When you're not afraid to speak to people, you've already won. Crystal isn't afraid to speak to anybody. Leave her at a bus stop, leave her anywhere. It's okay. She's coming back with a mink on. That's how much she enjoys people, and people is all you need.
I know one of my closes be just remind yourself, tell yourself it's not free until you give them the application ID number. And just keep telling yourself it's not free till you give them the application ID number. A lot of my people have been remembering lately, so but that's just one of my little ending closes.
So hit me with it. Like, I'm your client right now. Hit me so that I get the full impact.
All right, well, shit, man. Hold on, come back to me, Quincy, man.
Your customer's not gonna tell you that.
No,
Your
I know
customer.
that, man. I just woke up, man. I'm still trying to
I
wake up.
know
See
when
how
I
far you
sign
gonna
up.
stand, man.
Sade, you're breaking up on us.
That's not me, Quincy.
Oh,
I
forgive me.
came off mute to say something, but they started talking first.
All right, guys. I couldn't make out the voice. Whoever it was breaking up. So if you can, let us know who you are. Could have been Antoinetta. So I see. Okay, Sade, drop your
I
name.
was gonna say I've been using my rep card as a close now.
Mm.
You know, they do your rep card or you send them your rep card, and now they can leave you a review, and you could close everything out like that.
So no, you got it. You got to lay that on me. Lay that on me. How?
Quincy, come back to me. No, I'm joking.
How's it going?
Okay, so I just started using my rep card, so I'm not sharp with it yet, but all right, now you got your ACP code. We got you all signed up. Now, if you were happy with my service today, I'm gonna go ahead and let you scan my rep card right here. You can leave me a review, which I would like for you to do right now if you can. And you can even contact me here if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that. You can even leave me referrals if you like. And once they scan my rep card, that says everything they need to know right there. Everything about what they just did, all of my information, the buttons for referrals, all of that.
I like it. So, but at what point are you assuring yourself a sale? Because that right there, that might happen. That's like lottery to me. Like, hey, that you might hit, right? At what point are you locking them in and closing your customer?
Mm.
Well, I always say at the day of your install, once you
Oh yeah.
install, I'm gonna give you a call. Make sure you install, and then I can work with you with your ACP code. You can't remember what I said about it.
Okay, understood. So that's not a close. That's called a rehash, right? A rehash is when you're going back over your sale, just getting it tighter. Like, hey, don't forget. Now on your installation date, here's what I need for you to do. That type of deal, right? They already bought in. They ready. They locked and loaded with you. You done possibly got their order date all already there, which is good. And you definitely want to make sure that you rehash. You definitely want to make sure that you got a system in place that to follow up with. Guys, I promise you, if you follow up more, your customers are gonna double, right? The professionalism and following up, most people can't do it. Most people can't do it. So just being able to to go inside a rep card, put inside the text message, hey, just checking on you, you're getting installed today. Obviously, make sure that you apply your ACP and call me if you need me, right? Set it and forget it. When they receive that text message, they don't know that you set it and forget it, right? They don't know that you do that or you got technology that does that for you. They're gonna think that came over from you. They're gonna be like, man, this guy is still thinking about me and the services that he got me. Man, I like this guy. Yeah, absolutely. And then when I call and follow up, like, hey, listen, I just want to make sure you got installed. Yeah, Q.
I'm about to put
Yeah,
this there.
Q.
You
I
want to
don't
do
got
this
any
with me?
Quincy no more. Q, right?
Yeah,
Let me
Joe,
make
yes,
sure that
I
I
put
mute Justin. Justin said he just woke up, but he sound alive and alert now, right? But the idea is that now I'm not even Quincy anymore. Now I'm Q. Now it's just like, hey man, yeah, Q, man, I appreciate you giving me a call. Yeah, I'm gonna call them today. I'm gonna make sure that they get installed. I'm gonna make sure that they apply my ACP. I remember everything you said. All right, I appreciate you. Listen, let me ask you, got any other customers for me? Yeah, you know what? My aunt is over here right now. Auntie, you need some internet, right? Again, this is how you're gonna be able to double down on your sales. Any other closes?
It's not necessarily like a direct close. I use it for everything, like beginning to end. But being that I'm usually in a store, I'm usually in electronics most of the time. So I kind of try to pinpoint and watch what that person is doing before I go and approach them in the first place, to try to narrow down what I'm going to like talk to them about. Like, see what, like if they're doing, like if they're in electronics and I see they're already looking for something to do with the Wi-Fi or their TV or something of that nature, I kind of take that and run with it when I go in and kind of investigate and get to know them more before I actually try to sell to them. And a lot of the time that helps me secure myself more, because it's almost as though I'm helping them in a sense. To them, that's what they think, that I'm helping them in the process of also trying to get them better Wi-Fi or whatever the case may be that I'm trying to get them to get.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I want to make sure that you guys also know another technique that I use, and I want you guys to write this down. I want to make sure that you guys are not, you don't want to over talk it, right? You want to be able to be straight to the point, ask the direct questions. Example, I asked for directions and I watched the person maybe spin around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Go down that way to the left, you're going to see where you can make a right. What do you think about those directions?
They're vague.
Sound
Yeah,
See where you make a right there. Like, where you gonna make a right? Like, that'll be like right. There's so many rights. I'll be writing.
yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something. That's a lot of times what we do when we're talking to people, right? We need to be clear, precise, right? And let them know exactly what we need them to know, right? So don't be the one that's giving vague instructions and directions. Have it down to a science where you're going to know, because the more and more you develop your sales pitch and you know what to say, especially in times where they're trying to shake you, meaning they're actually giving you the objections, you need the rebuttals. You need to have the rebuttals ready, right? Because that's where it gets to be the tortoise and the hare, right? In those rebuttals, right? Don't give vague directions. Write that down and just be leery of that. Sometimes we can do that. Customers simply asked us, a question like, "Hey, what speed of internet do you have?" Well, we got 3 speeds of internet, right? So it actually depends on how much internet do you need. Let me ask you, how many people do you have inside your home? Right? Because I don't want to give you any vague information. I want to direct you home. You know what I'm saying? Now, in closing, guys, I just want to make sure that we fully understand that a good sales pitch has an introduction. Okay. A good sales pitch has a pricing and probing piece, right? That's where you're giving, you're actually asking questions. You're understanding what the customer's problem is. And then a close is you fixing the problem. Hopefully this clears it up for you and puts you in the mindset of being able to kind of see your pitch. Even before you even get into it, you can see it. Now we're in a privileged position where a lot of times our clients are walking up to us. When the client is walking up to us, oh, it's exciting. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm Quincy with Verizon. What brings you by today? Oh, well, I was just trying to see what y'all doing over here. Don't they say that? Well, good. I'm glad you stopped by. Right? And at that point, good. I'm glad you stopped by. This is internet for your home. Let me ask you, what do you have? You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to understand what is the customer needs. I'm gonna figure out what that pain point is, and I'm gonna fix that problem. And my sale is done and over with, right? I just want to take away the lottery out of the sale for you. Because a lot of times it can be like a lottery. Like, hey, what do I, are they gonna get it? I don't know. I just asked them if they wanted it. Well, asking them if they wanted it is not the same as asking them if they need it. Asking them what they need. Right? So that's the difference. Guys, with that being said, obviously, right, that's how you deliver a sales pitch. That's how you guys want to engage your client. It's vital and important that you guys can be able to do that, right? Obviously, you guys are doing that. You're kicking ass and taking names. I just wanted to provide you guys with some reinforcements. If you need, go back into Bridge the Gap University and go back over the videos there. A lot of the principles and a lot of those concepts are already there in video format for you. All right. Last but not least, here we're right across the 8 a.m. hour. So we won't do an open forum, but what I will do is obviously, right, does anybody have anything that they feel like they need to go over with us?
Yeah, so can I say something? So I started doing more self-installs, and it helps me in a way because at the end you don't have the installation fee anymore, and it works pretty good. But I'm trying to do that for people who are really capable of doing that self-install.
Guys, if you haven't started using the self-install, I would suggest that you do that, because obviously faster installation, all right? Even if they can't install it, they're gonna come out, but it is an easy enough installation, and then on top of that, you guys get paid faster, and it's what our client wants us to do. So obviously it's just us being a good partner. But thank you for sharing that, vital and important. Now, obviously it doesn't come up with every customer, but for the customer that you actually can give a self-install, congratulations. And that's exactly what you should be telling your client. Congratulations. All right, guys. Anyone else? Yes, your silence is golden. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. This has been our leadership call. Watch for this back on YouTube in just a few moments. I'll speak to you guys soon. I'm live and alert. Let's kick ass.